Welcome back to our channel, World History Explored. Today we're diving into the impact of world wars on modern borders, a geopolitical analysis. Have you ever considered how world wars influence the demarcation lines we recognize today? On this exploration, we'll dive deep into the global conflicts that dramatically shifted the geopolitical map. From the strategic partnerships and territorial aspirations leading up to World War I, to the lasting influences these wars exerted on our present-day political and cultural disagreements, anticipate a comprehensive analysis. We'll also throw light on the critical personalities and happenings that directed these wars and their consequences. So, strap in for an unforgettable voyage through the annals. One of the most pivotal effects of the world wars was the redrawing of boundaries. This era, marked by unmatched global conflict, sparked radical metamorphoses in the world's geopolitical layout. This era was when powerful empires collapsed, giving rise to new nations, while established nations disappeared, marking a significant metamorphosis in the international map. The redrawing of borders was not a haphazard occurrence. It was primarily steered by shifting alliances and changing power dynamics during and after the wars. For instance, post-World War II in 1949, Germany got divided into East and West, a physical manifestation of the ideological conflict between the Allies and Soviet Russia. Similarly, Japan, after its surrender in 1945, had to forfeit many of its colonial territories, and its borders were redrawn. These alliances, characterized by intricate diplomatic negotiations and power plays, influenced the shape of the New World Order. Power dynamics, the consequence of military victories, economic strength and political clout, played a crucial role in determining nations' destinies. For instance, in 1950, China reclaimed Tibet after World War II and the Chinese Civil War, thus expanding its borders. As these alliances shifted, so did the nation's contours. India, after gaining independence from British colonial rule in 1947, experienced the painful partition that gave birth to Pakistan. Meanwhile, in North America, post-World War II, the United States acquired territories such as Alaska in 1959 and Hawaii in 1959, marking its emergence as a global power. However, the process of redrawing borders was often fraught with pain and injustice. For example, the arbitrary drawing of the Middle East, borders by the Sykes-Picot Agreement in 1916, disregarded ethnic, cultural or historical affiliations of the regions, leading to long-standing conflicts. In Africa, the Berlin Conference of 1884 to 1885 divided the continent among European powers, completely disrespecting ethnic and cultural boundaries, leading to strife that persists today. The imposed borders often hindered the traditional movement and lifestyles of many indigenous communities. For instance, the Navajo Nation in the United States faced the forced division of their ancestral lands, which disrupted their herding routes and access to resources. Such restrictions led to conflicts over land, resources and identity, often manifesting as violent confrontations and separatist movements. Moreover, the forced redrawing of borders fostered a sense of mistrust and bitterness among nations. For example, the disputed territory of Kashmir, claimed by both India and Pakistan, has been a flashpoint for conflict since their independence in 1947. This border clash continues to mar international relations even today. The redrawing of borders, hence, was not just a physical rearrangement of territories, it was a dramatic reshaping of identities, cultures, histories, leaving an indelible mark on the world. The stories of Germany, Japan, China, India, the Middle East, Africa, and the United States provide vivid examples of the significant impact of this process. Despite the numerous conflicts and tensions that emerged from this process, it also brought forth new nations, identities and possibilities. It transformed the world in ways still being comprehended and navigated today. In the wake of the redrawing of borders, a slew of new nations emerged, each with its unique history, struggles and aspirations. The creation of these new countries was a direct consequence of the world wars and the subsequent geopolitical realignments. For instance, let's take a look at Israel. The establishment of the Jewish state in 1948, was a direct outcome of the Balfour Declaration of 1917 and the Holocaust during World War II. The new nation faced immediate opposition from its Arab neighbours, leading to a series of conflicts that continue to this day. On the other side of the globe, the decolonization process resulted in several African nations gaining independence from their European colonizers. Ghana was one of the first African nations to gain independence from colonial rule in 1957, setting a precedent for other African countries. However, the path to sovereignty was riddled with challenges, including ethnic conflicts, economic instability, and struggles for political power. Meanwhile, in Southeast Asia, Vietnam emerged as a new nation after a prolonged struggle against French colonial rule and the Vietnam War. The division of Vietnam into the communist north and the capitalist south, similar to the division of Germany, was a testament to the ideological conflicts of the period. Another new country that emerged post-World War II was Bangladesh, which gained independence from Pakistan in 1971 after a brutal war. Despite being born out of conflict, Bangladesh has made significant strides in socio-economic development in recent years. The creation of these new nations was not a straightforward process. They had to fight for their recognition and sovereignty, often against significant odds. They also had to grapple with the task of nation-building, which involved creating national identities, establishing political institutions, and fostering economic development. Today, these nations are key players in the global political landscape, each contributing in its unique way to the international community. Despite the challenges they faced in their formative years, these new nations have shown resilience and a capacity for growth and transformation. Thus, the emergence of new nations is a significant chapter in the aftermath of the world wars, illustrating the dynamic nature of the global political landscape and the continuous evolution of nation-states. The cataclysmic aftermath of the world wars opened up a new era of change and adaptation, setting the stage for the rise of distinct superpowers and the inception of several international organizations dedicated to maintaining global peace. The curtain rose on this brand new global stage in 1945, with the establishment of two superpowers, the United States and the Union of Soviet Socialist Republics, also known as the USSR. Here's an interesting anecdote to illustrate the rapid rise of the United States. Did you know that by the end of the Second World War, the US nearly half of the world's goods? The power of their burgeoning economy was undeniable and cemented America's status as a global superpower. On the other side of the world, the USSR was also making its mark, becoming the world's largest economy by 1961. The ideological divide between the capitalist US and communist USSR, however, shaped the world into a bipolar order, which was set to impact global politics for the better part of the 20th century. As these superpowers began to flex their muscles, we also saw the birth of several key international organizations. The United Nations, founded on October 24, 1945, is perhaps the most notable. It emerged from the remnants of the League of Nations, which had failed in its mission to prevent another global conflict. The establishment of the United Nations was seen as a beacon of hope for a world torn apart by war. Alongside the UN, 1944 gave birth to the World Bank, a vital instrument for global economic stability. In a meeting held in Bretton Woods, New Hampshire, representatives from 44 countries got together, even as World War II was still underway, to outline the future of global economics. The International Monetary Fund and the World Health Organization, both established in the post-war years, set up the pillars for international cooperation and diplomacy that remain relevant even today. This era of transformation also led to the Cold War, the geopolitical tension that ensued between the superpowers, altering the world into spheres of influence. This phase was marked by several proxy wars and regional conflicts, causing significant loss of life and economic devastation. To conclude, the end of the World Wars also marked the dawn of human rights and international law. One of the most significant moments in this regard was the Nuremberg trials following World War II. which served as a landmark for international justice. These trials, conducted between November 20th, 1945 and October 1st, 1946, indicted individuals for war crimes, setting a precedent that shapes global politics even today. Thus, the world wars, while causing widespread destruction, also served as catalysts for monumental changes that echo through the annals of global history. As we delve into the turbulent era of the world wars, we unravel the profound influence these landmark events have had and continue to have on our current geopolitical landscape. This exploration is not only a voyage through history, but a meticulous study of the molding of the modern world under the weighty impact of these wars. Let us journey into the specifics of how the world wars drastically changed the world geography. The repositioned borders and redefined territories marked more than the physical alterations. They signified the emergence, ascension, and decline of nations, the dissolution of empires, and the remarkable shift in global political and economic powers. Take, for example, the epic dissolution of the Austro-Hungarian Empire following World War I in 1918, which gave rise to several new nations in Central Europe, each flaunting its unique culture and political system. World War II in 1945 brought about extensive changes, fragmenting the once formidable German Empire into East and West, a division that left an enduring imprint on global politics for numerous ensuing decades. The reverberations of the world wars extended even further. They shifted power dynamics on an international level. Post-World War II, in the late 1940s, the United States and the Soviet Union surfaced as the leading powers, their influence permeating every corner of the world. The ensuing Cold War, a direct consequence of these dynamics, led to the formation of NATO in 1949 and the Warsaw Pact in 1955, thereby creating new alliances and ideologically cleaving the world. We also navigate through the monumental transformations in Asia. The end of World War II in 1945 saw Japan metamorphosing from an imperial power to a constitutional monarchy under the close watch of the Allied forces. China, too, witnessed a drastic transition, with the Chinese Civil War culminating in the establishment of the People's Republic of China in 1949. Let's take our expedition further to Africa, where the decolonization process post-World War II brought about the emergence of numerous new nations. The fight for self-determination in the 1950s and 60s, as colonized peoples battled for their independence, instigated a significant reformation of the continent's borders. These glimpses are just scratching the surface in comprehending how the world wars have crafted our contemporary world. The full picture is even more diverse and riveting, teeming with stories of resilience and transformation. The current geopolitical landscape we navigate today would be unrecognizable without the world wars and the pivotal decisions made in their aftermath. These conflicts have indelibly etched our history, reshaped borders, and influenced the global order in ways that continue to characterize our world. Their impact is profound, enduring, and indispensable to comprehending our existing geopolitical landscape. Let us know your thoughts on this journey through World History Explored. If this deep dive into history has sparked your curiosity, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating historical explorations. And remember, your comments help us create an engaging historical conversation. So, what impact do you think these wars had on our world? Let's discuss in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel, World History Explored. Your support helps us create more content like